Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Orphan Last, aka Skylar Madison, and today we're going to go ahead and continue with this image right here. It's an educational image. You're able to see that there are different ways of drawing a bridge with the same sort of architecture, but they tend to look different depending on what materials you make them out of. If it's made out of wood, you're going to see something different. If it's made out of stone, you're going to see something pretty cool. Anyways, so let's go ahead and start drawing on this box right here. This is helping to help you understand the concept of how the camera angle is working. You're drawing these from different angles because you're placing them in different locations on the composition in relationship to the vanishing point. And sometimes, you know, this face doesn't even have to go towards the vanishing point. That could be this face right here. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'll go ahead and get into this, okay? So, I honestly, it's been 2 days of me working on this, and what I'm seeing is it's hard for me to really understand the measurements that went on here. I'll just deactivate the blue for now. The yellow is just like information, I guess, that I've been using for whenever I've been needing a quick series of lines measured out. That's how I've been using the yellow, evidently. I'm showing you guys right now the sort of thought process I have to try to make sense of the image over here to make the image make sense over here. So I'm gonna kind of redraw this whole bridge here because I'm really not happy with the initial sketch to how I drew it, but that's fine. That's all good. That's the beauty of a sketch. You don't have to be committed to anything. Let's go into my red layer and let's go ahead and draw it out right here. So we've gone ahead and drawn out this box here. You'll see that I drew a horizontal line that goes right through here and right through here. Okay, I noticed a little bit of a mistake here. This little region right here needs to be actually higher on this bridge, but by and large it's just fine. But yeah, just drawing a simple straight line that goes across two objects can sometimes really help you understand this is the bottom, this is the top. Okay, actually this is the top. Okay, I'm understanding this now. Okay, this is not drawn out properly. So let me go ahead and just pull out my lasso tool. So the thing that matters right now is that I could have the face going off towards the vanishing point start at any place at all, just as long as it's starting here. Okay, so over here it went like that, and over here it went like that. We know that because we've created a plane that's going across here. Okay, planes help us measure things out. This right here is a plane. That whole region, that is a plane, and that is what's helping me construct a box that it has most of the same measurements as these other bridges. Okay, so let's get this straightened out a little bit better. And I think that, honestly, I do think that you guys seeing that I'm running into problems and watching me come up with ways to find a solution to those problems is actually really helpful, I think, to the learning process. Being able to see basically how the more experienced artist is working through a problem, I think that is a huge benefit to people learning, so that they can see not just what lines are drawn, but what the artist is actually thinking, so that you know when you're thinking the right way. Alright, so I'm just going to extend this out. Now, once we start getting out into this portion of the composition here, it's starting to exceed outside of a 60-degree cone of vision. So, like, the 60-degree cone of vision really is kind of like that big, and it seems like it, for me at least, it always seems like it's the same place. It's always there's no way to zoom in the canvas, it seems like, with linear perspective. That's why I use curvilinear perspective. The cone of vision is just too much of a frustration for me. So even though you see me drawing in linear perspective, I mean, I'm able to do it passably well, but it's not really my favorite form of perspective. Curvilinear perspective is top notch. I love it. Alright, I'm trying to get this box to cooperate with me. Ah, there we have it. Look at how beautiful that turned out. Alright, so that's going to be our bridge, evidently. So with the purple, I'm going to draw an X going right through here. Awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and just draw a line going straight up and down and find the 1/4 measurement locations as well as the 1/3 measurement locations. Okay, so this is the 1/3 measurement location. I'm going to say it's somewhere in between those two. Okay, and then there's this one right here. All right, I'm just going to color this one in. Maybe that might help. Okay, and so maybe I might want to just draw out an X over here, find my 1/4 measurement location and my 1/3 measurement location. This one was nicer, this one was closer. Alright, let's go ahead and color that in. I usually don't color things in, I usually just look at the lines that I'm drawing. Okay, so we've established that the sketch layer should have a curvature that goes something like that, okay? So that's awesome. Alright, well, that means that somewhere around here, okay, I don't know how I figured this out. I keep having to try to figure, it's just a little bit above halfway. I don't know. I think it was like, oh, right. Okay, so go back to the purple layer. We have this right here going through halfway, and I think the decision was going something like that and splitting it in half. I think that's what we did. I think we split it in half right here, and I think I continued this line right here. We continued it on through here, and I don't know how I found this out. I think I used the 1/3 measurement mark up here. Let me use the green. I think I used this 1/3 measurement mark going down. I think that's what I did. Okay, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and just draw out two planes right here on the left and right. I'm gonna find out this first. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and draw out my X, find center. I don't necessarily have to go all that route, but this is helping me, at least for right now. It's like therapeutic for the moment for me. So I'm gonna just kind of draw that out. Okay, so now I can go into the sketch layer and go ahead and just draw out an ellipse. This is more of an oval than this one. Huh. Interesting. Maybe, you know, I kind of like the way it looks. It doesn't have to be the exact same bridge to me. Alright, so let's go to the red and just go like that. That looks good. And then draw out these little spiky points on here. And now I have my sketch layer, and I'm just going to draw out an ellipse. Awesome. And then over here with the red, I think not the red, with the green, I think I'm gonna cut this off over here instead of where it's currently at. And we can just go ahead and just draw out an X going through here and just make our little arrows to tell us where it goes. And pull out the sketch layer and okay, cool. Okay, and now let's go ahead and finish off this face, the basic sculpting process of this face on a two-dimensional surface. Okay, so we got that. Kind of thinking this over. This back face, I need to have an arc to it. So I'm going to pick out a color that I haven't been using that much, which is yellow, and I'm just going to go ahead and draw out an X on this back face and a line that goes straight up and down, and drawing out an arrow on the top. So like what I'm paying attention to is this mass right here. It looks like an arrow, so that when I pull out my sketch layer, I'm just kind of able to see that it needs to curve above, you know, this straight line here. It needs to curve above it. It just needs to look right. And you are the artist, you know what looks right. You know what you like, you know what you don't like. I think that the math is important. It really is. You have to be a stickler with the math. But in the end, if something you're doing on the canvas just naturally is able to look just as good or even better, then why not just freehand it? Okay, so now we have the full arch to this thing. So that means that like over here, like the floor to this is going to be something like that. Okay, let me go ahead and draw that out in a different color. Let me use red. So the floor to this thing, let's think about that. Now I'm using these openings to the bridge as a reference to how I should curve the floor to this bridge. You know, red's really not working. Let me go with blue. Okay, that's cool. About halfway on this diamond here. Like, let me show you what I mean. This diamond on this face, okay? It's about halfway from here to here. Like, oh, I need to draw out the diamond here. This diamond right here in blue, okay? Now, what I'm noticing is that this region right here that exists within that arrow, if I go ahead and draw an X through here, yeah, the floor meets up perfectly there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the blue layer. Let me move the blue layer up, and I'm just going to use what I drew here to kind of help me out. Alright, and then just draw an X back here. So I'm going to the top and I'm going to the bottom, and the distance between those two, that's all that matters. As long as I have that, this box can literally go out for eternity, I guess, but well, there is a limit to that, I think. But yeah, no, there is no limit to that. It could go and extend out for eternity, because the only line that we're looking for right now is this red line that I'm drawing out right now, and that is its curvature of the floor. Actually, let me go ahead and pull out the blue layer again, and just that things are consistent. It's consistent colors, consistent logic. Okay, that's cool. Alright, we got our blue lines all worked out. Alright, so I'm going to pull out the sketch layer, and I'm just going to use this blue line that I just drew out to that center. Awesome. Okay, so now that we have that, I can actually erase this right here because it's overlap, and now we need to start thinking about 3D effect. We have this face right here, which is, you know, facing us, and we have this face right here, which is again facing us, and then we have this face right here, which is actually pointed to the left or to the right of us. Okay, whereas it's all been different on every single one of these. I mean, this one's diagonally pointed away from us, this one's straight towards us, and this one is at a complete 90 degrees away, like left and right of us. So I think that it's important to remember all of the faces, every single face to your object. Some people might look at this like newbies and be like, whoa, okay, let me turn off all of these. Like, I remember when I started learning how to do perspective, and I'd come up with images like this, and I'd be like, what's wrong with it? I went through all of that work, and what's wrong with it? The problem is this, okay? I don't need to do measurements. I'm just to illustrate what's wrong with it. We need to draw this face, you know, the one pointing up on the railing, and we need to do the same thing over here, okay? We can't forget any of the faces to our objects that we draw. Otherwise, it just looks like garbage, okay? Now, if you have an art style that just deals with the super basic shapes, you know, and you're able to pull it off, I am interested in that style. I mean, like, think about it. Like, Powerpuff Girls, like, that style, just knowing this here can help you get better at the Powerpuff Girls style of drawing things, okay? This is Powerpuff Girls for perspective, alright? But, okay, we're gonna grab red, and I'm just going to draw out a plain... Oh no, let's not go with red. Let's go with blue. Blue seems like the magical color right now. And I'm going to move blue up on the stacking order for now, just so that I have access to seeing it a little bit better. So we have this plane right here, okay? So that is going to help us, where I'm going to find center and draw a line going straight up and down, okay? And then I'm going to find center once again and draw a line going straight up and down. That looks good. Actually, let me go ahead and go to my sketch layer and just make a little mark right where that is, and go back to the blue layer and draw an X right here. Okay, I have the locations of this right here. So now that I have that, I need to get rid of all the purple on this drawing. I don't need that purple anymore. Okay, at least I don't think I do, but I still have the initial red sketch. So even if I needed that, that, I could go ahead and redraw it if I need to down the line, if I just made a huge mistake. Okay, so we need to figure out how to draw this out here. But in order to do that, we're going to be running into problems if we just draw this line out like that. We're going to run into problems. We need to know how far it is here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw out this right here. And now I have this measurement going down the center, which I'm going to use to go towards the vanishing point right there. And I'm going to draw straight up. All right, now since I still have this line of center here, I'm going to bring it up and I'm going to move it towards that location. And that does not seem accurate to me. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, it sounds like the computer knows what it's talking about. Yeah, it's not looking bad. I'm liking the way it looks. Yeah, all right. And I'm just copying, kind of trying to draw what looks right there. I could follow some super strict math, but I've just found that if I were to just draw it by hand, I can get a satisfying result. Okay, so now we have to draw this top face out. That looks good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. All right, so let's try this out on the other side. Now, the purple was what I was using, so I'm going to select purple, and actually I can go ahead and erase all of that. Okay, so I have this line of center here again. All right, and I have this mark that I made right here that I made earlier, and I'm just going to continue this horizontally across and continue horizontally, and then I'm going to use this center right here and move it towards the vanishing point, like towards this, using the vanishing point and towards this line here. And I'm going to go ahead and draw this line going straight up and then use the vanishing point to join them together. That gives me an intersection that's important because I can now draw across here. Okay, now you don't have to necessarily memorize these techniques verbatim because you'll be running into problems and you'll have to figure out ways to solve them yourselves. It might be helpful to see me do this. Yeah. Anyway, so let me go ahead and just draw a diagonal line going through here. This purple mass right here. It is pretty messy on the screen, but this is how you draw, and you have to force yourself to understand what you've made and all the steps that it took for you to get there. Okay, that's just how you draw in perspective. Okay, you're going to have a mess on your canvas. So now I can just kind of draw this line right here, kind of eyeball a little bit of this diagonal line and kind of judge a happy medium between what you see on your measurement versus what you've already drawn. Try to find a happy medium. Okay, all right, so now if we turn off this right here, all of these layers, we can see, oh wow, that's really looking like a bridge. Wow, that looks so cool. What's missing? Something's wrong with it. Well, this is what's wrong with it. Let me go ahead and activate my vanishing point again. We need to extend these out towards the vanishing point, okay? But you still have to think about how thick it is. So I'm going to turn on the red, and it looks like if this bridge had been thinner, if this red line right here, if it had been right here, or right here rather, let's say it was just down here, okay? We would have to draw out another curve like that if the bridge had been that thick, and we know how thick it was because of this right here. Like that whole arc would be over here somewhere. That arc would be over here like that. I don't know if I'm making sense. This shape that I'm drawing out here is this shape over here on the other side. I hope I'm making sense. That's what I've been talking about for the last few minutes. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and draw these towards the vanishing point. And, you know, if you're having problems on whether or not you should draw that one, you need to practice the first Training Wheels video inside of the Teach Me to Draw playlist. Okay, so we now have this. I'm really liking the way it's looking, and, you know, we can go ahead and flesh it out like the other ones if we wanted to. Maybe I might want to give this series of videos inside of the Teach Me to Draw playlist off with a bang. Let's do that. Let me try to draw this out just a little bit bit better, just like how I drew the first one. At least a little bit, like using it more as inspiration than anything. No, that's looking pretty good. And right here, I'm just going to extend this portion of the dome out just a little bit, just a little lower, going with the vanishing point. And this will give me an opportunity to draw yet another face. So now it looks like I have a capstone. So that's like, if you had a pillar, that's something like, okay, so let's say this is a pillar of stonemasonry, okay? Okay, so that's your pillar of stonemasonry. Imagine that there's some cement right here, and there is a stone resting on top. This stone resting on top is called a cap, okay? That is a capstone right there. Alright, so let's go ahead and press Ctrl-Z a bunch of times, at least for me. Okay, so if I go over here, we see we don't have a capstone here. This is what's called an integrated cap. And the corners to a brick wall, if I were to draw out a brick wall really quick as an example, okay? A corner to a brick wall looks like this, okay? Where there's a long one, a short one, and then a long one again, and then you can predictably say that the next one on the corner of a brick wall, there's going to be another short one, and then another long one, going all the way up. And what I mean by the corner, this is the frustrating bit about trying to get people to understand how to draw in perspective. You have to draw all these other pictures. So like, if I draw out in perspective a corner of a, let's just say a box, okay? If I am drawing out the corner to a brick wall, we are going to have a brick that is going to come straight towards us. I don't even know how I can illustrate it. There's a brick coming straight towards us from this wall, from this back face here. Okay, so we have a back face brick right here, all right? And then we will have a long brick that's coming from this face. And then another brick that will come from this face over here, which is over something like that. Okay, so that's how it works. Short, long, okay, every single time when you're drawing a brick wall. Even a block wall, there's not much difference from brick to block, it's just block or big, okay? And these are the sorts of observations you need to make. Okay, if you notice, we have this rock right here that's coming from this face right here, this face here, okay? So this rock is moving forward and there is a narrow face. And then we have this rock that's going like that and it has a narrow face. Alright? And these are two jumper stones right here. These are big big stones, and you know, they're going like that on the other side, and on the other side, you know, this rock is probably going down something like that, and so not very thick. Same thing with this one, it's probably going to go something like that, and then underneath it, it's going to have some other rock that's kind of underneath it. Just imagine that I was just drawing on the face that we cannot visibly see, okay? That's basically how these two jumper rocks function. However, I do think I made a mistake here. I should have had a short one on this side here, but it's fine. I drew this out pretty quickly. I got two narrows here. That was a bit of a mistake, and I got one that's coming out here, and then I got one that's narrow, sort of. I mean, technically, sort of. But they're such big stones, and they're on top, that gravity's just going to just place that big stone there, and it's not going to become a problem, structurally speaking. So, like, this is how you have to think. You have to observe what's out there. This technique of doing stonemasonry that does not have a capstone is called integrated cap. Okay, that's what it's called. So, the stonemasonry on this new wall or structure that I'm building is slightly different. This one has a capstone. So I'm just going to erase some stuff, kind of refine things a bit more. Alright, so now I kind of want to do the same thing over here. Not too significant, but I do want to kind of, well, it is further away from us, so I think most of what I can do at this point is just pull out my eraser and just adjust things just ever so slightly, just a touch. And I think I can just kind of draw out the impression of a face. nice. There does come a point to where it's just a series of pixels. But anyways, yeah, let's go ahead and continue with this, okay? Just use the vanishing point, go straight down, okay? In order to draw the joints. Or you can go ahead and direct them towards the center here, which is somewhere around here. So let's do that. That sounds like a smarter route of doing it. Use a vanishing point, direct it towards the center, drawing towards the center on a bunch of these, okay? Alright, that looks good. That looks good. Alright, so let's do the same thing over here. Let's have a nice capstone. And stonemasonry can be pretty irregular. You don't have to make sure that these joints line up perfectly. With stonemasonry, you don't have to worry about that. But if you're drawing something sci-fi, yeah, you're going to have to worry about that sort of thing quite a bit. Okay, rocks that I've already placed in the composition already kind of look like river rock, so that will be kind of cool. Kind of show you, like by river rock, what I mean is like there are rocks that are sometimes at the bottom of a riverbed, and what happens is the waves, the current will smooth that object, just super polished, and that rock winds up being something that is later on split in two because it's so round, and then people use it for things like stonemasonry, and it just makes the rock really cool. And all you have to do is draw a bunch of different sized circles. It's a pretty random sort of thing. Not necessarily circles. Like you can draw some that are kind of misshapen a little bit or oval. You don't want them all to look the same size. You want them all to be pretty varied and such like that. And don't forget to put in the occasional jumper stone, like a really big stone. Jumper stone is like the moneymaker rock. Stonemasons, they typically get paid by the square foot. So if they get X number of square feet done every single day, they get X number of dollars. So a jumper stone is like a jump on life. It's a jump on your finances. It's a really happy stone to have because it covers more square footage. So like I'm telling you guys this because I do firmly believe that knowing a thing or two about stonemasons and stonemasonry can actually help you draw. Usually river rock, river stone isn't really placed on a floor to a bridge. It's not structural enough, at least from my perspective. I would never build a stone floor with river rock. So at this point, I think that it would be more like drawing out a wall. And so when drawing out a wall, you have a larger stone, and you have a stone that is ever so shy, and then you have another rock that goes something like this and closes the shape, okay? So you have 1 and then 2, okay? That's the pattern, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and draw this one out, and then I'm going to extend it further towards the vanishing point, and pow! Okay, now we have 1 and 2, okay? We have a pattern established here. And so like I said, we have a stone that's bigger, and here we have another stone that's bigger, but it's shorter than the first one here. And this one is longer than this one, and so this stone is probably going to be a bit shorter. Alright, so now I'm going to draw out another stone going out here, something like that, okay? And now I have 1 and 2 joining in with it, okay? This is good stonemasonry, okay? So we're going to go ahead and just do that. I'm going to draw 1 stone going all the way across, okay? Long, thin, long, and 1, 2. Okay, so now we have a situation where this one needs to be thinner, but I don't want it to be quite as thin as its little brother here, okay? And I want to have a stone that is larger on this side, and I'm just going to go like that. And sometimes the mess that you make while making mistakes, sometimes it looks cool. Sometimes I keep it in there because it just, you know, it just adds that extra effect that stones have, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and just draw that further. So 2, 1. You don't want too many of them where they're just 2 stacked rocks, just like that. You want one that's longer than the other, okay? If it's just stacked, then it looks like dog crap, alright? So we're gonna make this one a little bit shorter, but I want it to meet up with a stone that is rather large. I'm just following the curvature that I've already established inside of my image. Now, as you're following the curvature of it, it's not like it's going towards this point, like that, okay? It's not like it's curving towards that point. It's curving like this, basically. This is how it's curving, alright? This is one big face, and then it gets obscured. That face doesn't get warped because it starts to get obscured more and more within this region. Okay? Sometimes, like, I'm mentioning that because some people might make the mistake. And I'm just going to go ahead and close this one off like that. And you know what? I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and just continue it on through. Now, we can have stones that are 1 and 1. That's fine every once in a while. But it has to be kind of like brickwork to some extent. Alright, so... Okay, so now that I have so much black, this whole line right here is kind of fading into obscurity. And I need to just bring that back into existence by thickening up the line a bit. Okay, there we have it. We have 3 bridges in multiple different angles. Okay? All of them have the same construction. All of them look dramatically different. Even though 2 of them are made out of the exact same material. Alright? So anyways, guys, that pretty much concludes it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And if you guys would like to get more notifications, feel free to click on the bell or go ahead and follow me on Twitter. If you'd like to follow my Discord, then it's in the video description below with my Twitter. If you'd like to support my channel, there's a link to my Patreon. It's an image of my mascot in the upper right corner of the screen right now. And if you'd like to watch more of my content, feel free to click on anything that's appearing on the screen right now. Thank you very much for your time.